Hello, good
Good
morning.
morning.
I love to sing my good morning to everyone. Morning is my favorite time of the day. Oh, look at you. I love your little feel free to connect with
It
me anytime for a personalized reading.
it
That's
popped
so
up. I
great.
almost went like, "Ooh, let's take that down." It feels like I'm taking up space.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, take up all the space, woman. My God, I love that. Yesterday, when I was doing readings, it was all about taking up space. So,
Right?
I mean, can we just bring some of that energy into today, right?
Right? So,
Yeah.
hey, if you feel free to connect with me anytime for a personalized reading.
Yeah. Feel free to connect with Michelle. Feel free to connect with me. We are both open and curious and in love with our lives. Good
Absolutely.
morning, Misa. It's good to see you
Hi,
again. How are
Lisa.
you today?
Yay, somebody found us. Exciting.
On this beautiful 5-9 of clubs energy day, Michelle and I have been having a great chat today.
We were
Uh,
later because we were having we dive
we had
in.
to have a whole processing before we got on our live. And I said,
Well,
what is the energy of today? I haven't even really
we're all
paid
like,
attention to it yet.
"Oh my
Like,
God."
what the hell is going on?
So let's enlighten you before we start pulling cards. It is a
Let's
5
enlighten
energy
you.
day. We're going to share. If you've never heard about this, just sit back, just feel it for a
Just
minute.
sit back and relax.
As numerologists, we love numbers. We love the book of life cards. We're going to share some of that with you today, but we live our chart. We look at our chart. We don't live by it. It doesn't dictate to us, but it really helps us get out of the shizzle when we're having a day.
The shizzle. Yeah.
As does Jen, who meets with me every week. We're just that lifeline, which is so fun.
So
So we
beautiful.
do this no matter what. So we just happen to be able to come live with you this morning. Here's the thing. It's a 5 energy day. So that relationship to change is going to be like right today, like whatever it is for you, if it's good, if it's bad, if you hate it, if you don't like change, if you resist it, it just
Mhm.
tends to rear its head. But the 5 loves to share with us the things that no longer cannot be seen. So we can empower ourselves into a new choice to bring more ease, to thrive, to have a better moment in this present moment, right? And then we've got the 9 of clubs. Hey, Freddie. We got the
Oh,
9 of
these are
clubs. He's down
lovely.
there. Looks like, woo. The 9 of clubs, that's inviting us to higher thinking, higher expression. We are in the clubs for this next week, all about expressing ourselves. So we thought, how befitting to come talk about divine expression, our divine expression retreat, and share with you some of the aspects of what we love to share when we're in retreat, which, I mean, if you don't know us, or if you do know us, you know it's going to be card pulls, intuitive readings, and all the things about emotional mastery and growth and where we can see ourselves that much more deeply so we can come into acceptance and create more of that ease and thriving life. So we're over here going, oh my God, this happened, this, blah, blah, blah. I feel like this. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, it's like a mic
This
drop.
is this is why we're doing our retreat.
Yeah, weird. Hey, how'd this happen? You think this is pertinent?
So I wrote some things down from our conversation leading up to this moment because I felt like they were so pertinent and so imperative to why we are actually doing the Divine Expression Retreat. And we are going to be doing readings, like Michelle said, we're going to be doing Divine Expression readings, but let's talk about Divine Expression and really bring in some activation first. And I want you guys to notice what shows up for you and where you're noticing these patterns in your life and where you're ready to clear. Okay. So I wrote down divine expression or your lack of it.
Whoa, damn.
Because communication has always been one of my most difficult things. Raise your hand if your throat chakra is blocked, or if it was in your life, or if it feels hard to express yourself, right?
You don't feel understood or you can't quite get out exactly what you want to say, like all the things.
Yes, exactly. Generational patterns, right? So paying attention to the generational patterns that show up and why are they showing up for you? And how can we clear them? And what if they show up again?
And
What if they continue to show up again,
where
right?
do they show up?
Yeah.
And I promise
Good.
you they're gonna show up. We're human.
Yeah.
We can't possibly press the easy button, clear everything, and be like, I'm done. Let's move on.
Right. That's
The
not
brain
real.
thinks that way.
That's not real. Misa says, haha, calling me out early.
No, we're calling ourselves out. Welcome.
Welcome to the party, everyone.
She wrote
So
these notes because I was talking.
right?
So
So divine expression, or your lack of it, is affecting your relationships with yourself, obviously, right? Relationship with self is our most important relationship, right? Your relationship with others, obvi, your husband, your partner, your kids, your mother, your father, your in-laws, your et cetera, your community, your clients, right? Your money, divine
What?
expression is affecting your relationship with your money. And the reason that that one came up for me was because Michelle kept saying, I'm deflecting. I'm looking at this pattern of deflecting. And I was like, oh, our money.
Yeah.
It really affects our money, right? So, and then your health, your body, of course, your
Body.
divine expression. If you're not speaking your truth, you're not getting the things out, you guys. I mean, just like, let's just be real. You're holding it all in, you're shoving it all down. Does this pattern, like, does this show up for you?
And
It
then what
shows up
happened?
for me. I'm not perfect by any stretch. I've been doing this work for freaking ever, it feels like. And I still am like, sometimes I have a really hard time speaking my truth to my husband.
Uh,
Sometimes I have a really hard time speaking my truth to my friends. I
yeah.
mean, it's better than it used to be, but
Because
it
we
still
got this,
shows
right?
up,
Yeah.
right?
We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. We're
So, don't you love this conversation, you guys? It's
I
so good.
I love it so much because I mean, obviously, I was sharing with you like my husband and I have really been working on our relationship, not because
Mhm.
anything's wrong, but just to make it better. Like we've
Yeah.
been together 30 years.
Yeah.
And so how we did one thing sometimes shows up in how we do everything, but what we didn't do also shows up. And so we're learning to communicate, we're learning to open conversation. And boy, oh boy, in face mirror of like deflecting or not wanting to or feeling like I'm always doing something wrong or saying something wrong. And then I was like, oh my God, I feel like this has always been this way since I was a kid. And then there it was. I'm like, oh, I could not do anything right in my mom's eyes. But she
Mhm.
had her own things going on. She was sick in a wheelchair. And it just kind of all came crashing in like, oh, this is another deeper root. Right. And I've been clearing a lot of this for about 6 years. And so we
Mhm.
can sometimes feel like this again. And it's
Mhm.
not again, it's just more layers of truth coming up. And I always feel, and I know Jen, you do too, like when things rise up in the body, when things rise up in conversation, when we're looking at what's being shown as feedback in our world, it's to move it, to clear that pattern, to connect in with where you can change now. And where do you want to? And where are you making meaning of? And is there a moment where we can actually have clean, clear, crisp communication? Because what we were finding last night is we were saying the same thing. We just weren't saying the words in between. So I was making meaning over here, and he was making meaning and thinking I knew over here. And then it's just as humans, we don't say the freaking words.
Going round and round and round and round,
But we have a
right?
habit of you did this, you did that. You, and instead of like, oh my God, I'm feeling like this is how you made me feel. Is this what you mean? And
Yeah,
just pausing. And we were like, well, that's what I mean.
right. So how is this affecting your relationships? How is this affecting your money? And where are you defending and justifying? Where are you deflecting? Where are you blaming? Where are you shaming? Where are you guilting? Or, as Michelle pointed out to me earlier, shooting all over
A
yourself.
lot of shoulds in that conversation.
There were so many shoulds, and it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean I have to not ever say the word should. It just that's where I was in the moment. And then I could talk to Michelle and say, yeah, I do need a retreat. Yeah, I do need a vacation. I do need a break. I need a
And
break. I'm
that's
a mama with a really hard kid. I need a break for reals.
and that's for real. And if you're a mama right now and you've got any kids going back to school, you're in it. You're in
Yeah,
it this week and
I'm
next
in it.
week. And all of a sudden life just got busy. The flow from summer just ended.
Uh-huh.
Holidays are over. The summer is
Soccer just started.
right now you got to get up early, make lunches, do the things, do the taxi, bring the kids. All
Yeah,
it's just a lot.
it's just a lot. It is. It's a lot.
And
Yeah.
one of the things I didn't know, it took me many, many years into that cycle to realize I could actually say yes and go for a weekend because I
Yeah.
thought the world was going to fall apart if I went. Like, oh my God, the house won't handle it. Oh my God. But you know what? It gave dad a chance to bond with the kids. So it was funny, we were talking about this, and I'm like, well, this is the whole reason of me discovering me is when I went away and put myself outside of my normal environment. So October, before the holidays, maybe just the beautiful time for you to come explore and move some of this
Mount
out.
Shasta.
Talk to women who get it. My
Yeah.
gosh, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know sometimes it feels really hard to get away. I have that reality. I mean, my husband's job is hard. Sometimes it is hard. And also perhaps planning it in advance makes it a little more easeful.
Yeah.
And so sometimes like when you're in the moment and you're like, I'm panicking, I really need this moment, and you don't get it, sometimes you just have to like actually put it on your calendar. And you have to
Yeah.
have some structure, and you have to say, I do come first. I'm going to Mount Shasta with Jen and Michelle or whatever, right? But we want you to come to visit with us, of course, to Mount
We're going
Shasta.
to focus on Mount Shasta right now.
Amazing. Okay. It's going to be amazing. It's in October. We're going to put all of the information in. If you know anyone who's interested and you want a buddy, you can bring your BFF with you and share a little space. And I mean, it's going to be amazing, you guys. It's fall in the mountains. It's me.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, and we've learned this over time, and it's taken a minute, but when you feel the pull to something and you're like, oh, I can see myself there. And then the fear comes in, and then it's like, well, I don't know if I can do this, and this is going on and all these things. The first initial reaction is that pull. And we start learning to say yes to that, and then everything else kind of works itself out. So if you have that buddy, if you have the family, the mom that you want to bring with you, like, and it looks like it's supposed to look like this, please understand, message us, because it doesn't always look just like this.
Right. Yeah.
We'll work a way
You want to find a way.
be there, right? So we like possibility thinking, and you got to ask the question. You got to use your voice. You got to express what you desire, what you want, to see if it can even happen. We were taught at this last event I went to, make the big ask. And so many of us don't make the freaking big ask. And we don't ask in possibility. We just quiet down and go on with our day
and deflect and stay small.
Don't gift ourselves permission to freaking be the one that you spend the money on to go.
Yeah.
It will freaking change your life.
It will.
Because you're giving your kids permission to do the same. And it's a ripple effect, right?
Oh, Sharon says, I have been to a retreat with Michelle at Mount Shasta before, and it was all the things. Have Jen there too. Would have been even more rewarding. Wish I could join. Already have plans. But thank you, Sharon, for saying that, because that is, I mean, it's wonderful to like actually hear and know people that actually have done the thing, right? Like that's powerful.
I remember that too, Sharon. That was your first, in a long time, first time being away, and you had all the nerves and the excitement all coming through the body, and it just kind of hit when you arrived, and you were so grateful to be there. And then it was like, it was just the adjustment, but then it was the most open, impactful weekend of realization for you and what you wanted and where you want to take life next. And you've been like on fire ever since. But I think that's also what happens. We give ourselves permission to dream our dreams, live our dreams.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is so good. Hi, Stephanie Hunter. Welcome.
Yes. Hello, you beautiful humans. Hello, hello, hello. We are so glad you're here. I started a list. Of course I did. But I would like to see some questions about divine expression. So I would love to see some thought-provoking things from your third eye into your heart, asking for, the universe loves specificity. The universe doesn't love open-ended questions, because the universe will just give you what you want to hear if you have an open-ended question, right? So we always know that the cards, the universe, all that is, loves to hear from you specifically. So what's something that's showing up for you around your creative expression or your communication? It could be about your money. It could be about your health. It could be about your wealth. It could be about all sorts of different things. But I would love to know something specific, and whoever is very specific is going to have their questions.
Yeah. So Sandy, thank you for popping in and saying, what does the universe want me to know about the possibility of crossing paths with the man that I like soon? But let's dive a little deeper.
Yeah.
what of that expression do you want to know about speaking to this person or
Yeah.
aligning with this person, So this is the specificity we're
I
looking
bet you're crossing paths with people that you really like frequently.
for. That's how many men, which men, what specific thing, like,
Ooh.
right? Like the
And
brain
what do you wanna say to them? What do you want it to look like? What do you want your
what's
relationship
stopping you? Why do you
to
think you're
be
being
there? You don't have his number. Okay. All right, all right.
ooh, like that.
All right, Misa says, "What is my next step to clearing my throat chakra to increase my divine expression?"
Wow,
Misa.
beautiful.
Okay, I
Okay,
love that question. Okay. All right.
um, I didn't
No, go ahead.
did we say this out loud? Sorry, like,
Oh.
just a moment. Action result? To
Yeah, that
who?
sounds good. Yeah.
What do you want?
I'm like going. I
You're
got
going
it.
to action. Okay, I'm result.
Yeah. Action's my favorite, baby.
Action.
Ooh. Okay. What is my next best step to clearing my throat chakra to increase my divine expression? Mm, I feel like this really is going to come in and relate to what we talked about yesterday. It's the
Oh,
10 of diamonds.
showing up.
So, right? This 10 of diamonds is saying to you, what's your next best step is to really understand what it looks like for you to understand your inherent value. And I feel like this conversation for you is big and strong. And so what are some things that you can say to yourself? What are some things that you can express to yourself every single day? I am the essence of life. I am the divine value. I am the value. There is a reason why you're needing to clear your throat chakra because you're not really feeling the full expression. You're not feeling the fullest expression of your true value. I think you have a pattern of giving it away to everyone else. And so what if you find yourself first and foremost, and I know that this feels hard, right? It feels challenging to be the one who feels your own value first and foremost. But this 10 of diamonds is just like you have it all right here. You are your own divine expression. And so I think really understanding, really coming into your own being every single morning, looking yourself in the mirror, looking yourself in the eye and saying, I am the one that I've been waiting for, right? This is the conversation that we had yesterday. I am the one. I am my own hero. I'm the one that I was waiting for. I'm the one who's going to take care of myself. And I am the one who's going to see my own value because everyone around you probably does see your value, but you're not seeing your fullest potential, your fullest value. You're giving it away in small ways, right? You're
Yeah.
giving your power away in small ways.
I yeah. The allowance, 10 always reminds me, like, more allowing, receiving with the diamonds, like, it's time to end the story that you've been telling yourself around that you're not valuable, that you can't have what you want, because it starts with deciding that you can. So I love that affirmation and really finding those I am statements that reflect the love that you're being asked as a result to land into, that Jack of Hearts, that higher consciousness, that love, that unity of where you've been keeping yourself separate from what you want, and really landing into letting the sacrifice go and bringing in more of the play and the expression that is you by looking at yourself through that lens of love and seeing that value because it's already here. You don't have to go do something else to have the value. You are the value. So bringing yourself back inward with whatever's reflecting to you in your outer world that you want more of, it always points back inward to how can you love you more and how can you love the expression of you more. All parts of you are welcome, right? Let's
Mhm.
let's know how that lands.
Love that.
All right. Sharon has to go. Rosalie, what wants to be known in regards to my divine expression and monetary expansion?
I drew the Ace of Clubs. So Rosalie, I drew the Ace of Clubs for you. So that's like always the birthing, right? The Ace is very auspicious. It's always a new beginning. And I always see the Ace of Clubs and think of, let's turn it around so the Ace of Clubs is upright. The club is upright. But the Ace of Clubs, there's all of this information that's flowing to you, through you, and ultimately as you. And I know that you are a creator and you have this beautiful creative expression. This Ace of Clubs is saying to you, you're receiving so much information all of the time. It's always flowing to you, through you, and as you. And there's something that was coming up for me earlier, and I'm just going to speak it because it feels like it might have been true. It might be for you. And I know it doesn't necessarily relate to the Ace of Clubs, but it relates to money and it relates to divine expression. And the feeling of my parents, my dad particularly had a really, there was a long generational pattern of never speaking about money and never speaking aloud about money. And I would get into trouble if I talked about money. And there's this whole story that I have where some gossip came back to my dad that I had been talking about money at school. And I got a big what for. And it's been a big, long pattern for me for a long time to not speak about money, not to speak about the money I'm making, and to really diminish the amount of money that I have or that I'm making, and definitely not to speak it out loud. And so I'm curious if any of that will resonate for you or if it shows up for you. Hi, Lynn. And just noticing that that Ace of Clubs is saying to you, you're receiving downloads about creative expression all of the time. And are you speaking it into the world? And are you speaking it into the world in a way where you're talking about wealth and the money that you desire to be making? Are you open to saying, I want to be wealthy, I want to bring money into my world? Are you open to speaking that aloud? And I don't know, I mean, I see you talk about it here, so I'm curious if any of that resonates for you. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that card for her.
And
Yeah.
then as a result, like creating this foundation of claiming what you love. You want more
Mhm.
money? Love the money. You want
Yeah, yeah,
more expression? Love your expression of you with the money.
yeah.
That's where we start to identify all the old beliefs that are either come from our parents or something we've adopted along the way, right?
Mhm.
I love that you mentioned, Jen, like you were like, don't talk about money. And my
Mhm.
parents had a bit of that too, but also don't share your dirty laundry. So then we just didn't talk about anything.
Right.
Don't brag about this, don't complain, don't do the thing. So then you feel stifled in your own expression.
Mhm.
We were chatting about that a
Yes.
little bit earlier, but I think there's a generational mm, acceptance, societal acceptance. You either lose your friends if you have too much success, or you're bragging if you have too much
Mhm.
success, or you'll make someone else feel bad. And so we carry these things with us. So this
Mhm.
card is really saying land into that stability and that structure and that foundation of building those four walls around what you love, that vision of what you love when it comes to you with money specifically, right? And act as if it's already done. Where can you find that abundance now that you can build upon?
Mhm.
If you want more money, but you hate your debt, and you've
Mhm.
got any of that in between, you're not in a coherent state. You're just taking like teeter-tottering with your mind and your heart.
Mhm.
It's about deciding that you're going to become that expression
Yeah.
and be it.
And Rosalie says, I think you said, I haven't been talking about my richness yet. Yes, we weren't allowed to talk about anything when my stepmom was in the picture. And I think that that is so relevant to so many people and to so many people's money stories, right? It's like, we don't even want to know. We can't even think of what's possible because we were never taught to look at what's possible.
How can you dream it when it wasn't an actual reality?
Yeah.
And then do you have feelings of comparison or judgment when someone else is doing
Mhm.
well? Do you believe, is there skepticism there that, oh well, something something something, like they must do that or it must be easy for them? Like
I
these are
have
all
that for
places, oh
sure.
my god, have, and then every new level, because really is the belief within me that I can have that too. So as I've
Mhm.
healed some of that and landed more into it, I
Yeah.
can see where I'm allowing myself to dream a little bit bigger. Now, it doesn't mean I
Yeah.
have to do it all tomorrow, but I do have to keep it
Mhm.
in my mind's eye that it's possible. Does that make sense?
Good, that's great, Rosalie. She says, "I'm happy for wealthy peeps." Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think that what these cards are saying to you are to build your own foundation and allow the river to flow through
Yeah,
you and to notice the new ideas, just noticing the new ideas that are showing up for you and really allowing them to come to life. I feel like that's what
absolutely.
is
Love them
coming.
to life. Love them to
Yeah,
life.
love them
I love
into life.
that. Awesome.
Beautiful. I love
Mocha
that
had,
conversation.
way back up, I'm gonna scroll. Mocha had something written in here, top of mind, connecting in my community to create new relationships and friendships and business that flourish. So becoming that divine expression of someone who holds the community, right? And as that impact creates, the business follows. So let's pull some cards around, um, not being able to hold, because I think you are doing that, but expanding the space to hold for more to come in, more of your expression, more of you being shared, more of those spaces where you might be feeling stifled, but maybe challenging yourself to come and share more. Um, does that feel accurate to you, Mocha?
I
Or
loved Mocha's question too. I wrote it down actually. I thought that was
okay.
really good. Do you want to draw the first card for it?
Oh yeah, ooh, got cards spitting out of my boobs.
Yeah. And I just want to like Rosalie, I love that for your son and I want you to get really happy about it all coming to you. I want to it is for you. This is for you. I want you to like feel like this is for me. I have this thing that's flowing into me, right? Yeah, yeah, you got it. There you
Oh,
go.
expansion. I don't know
Yeah,
anyone in your community, so your local community. So she's Mocha
yeah,
is
got it. Yeah,
okay. Cool. So I had already pulled a card. And
great, perfect. It'll be perfect.
so the 10 comes back in and says, like, to me, the action is yes, speak more about that, show up more about that,
Mhm,
look at how more feels in your body as you're wanting to express more, show up more, and reminding yourself that in that expression, it gets to be fun. Right? Your business gets to be fun. If it feels stressful, find where you can have joy in it again.
mhm,
Like it's just a story, but like launching, we always have products we want to launch or offers we want to launch. And sometimes it's just not the time. And we're so stressed about the launch, we're not in the enjoyment of the activity. Does that make sense? So I feel
mhm,
like your action in this is yes, let yourself express more. And how would you like to show up in that community? Become that expression. When you love it, they'll love it. And so it's that beautiful more of now you've seen where you've been in that cycle of getting to where you are now. And what will it take to let yourself step in just that much more? Dog snoring. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, I loved that. I thought that
Okay.
was wonderful.
Loves, look at you.
And then I drew the 7 of clubs um as an outcome for you. So as you land in, and actually what's coming through for me about that 10 of clubs for you in relationship to connecting in your community to create new relationships in life and business. And I am feeling that I feel that so strongly for you, for me, for all of us, is that as we be entrepreneurs and as we as we dive into full more and more and more of where we're going and who we're really being, that 10 of clubs is like, I'm on the crown line. I am the frequency of fame. Like, I desire
And
this
more.
fullest expression of myself. I desire this fullest impact that I can possibly create in the world. And so you get to decide, of course, what that means. And so I would really start defining that a little bit in your mind. What does it mean to me? What is the impact that I desire to make? What is the money that I desire to make? How many people do I want to impact? And it doesn't have to be realistic at all. And then the 7 of clubs coming through, to me, really says, let go of the physical, let go of the physical reality, and really lean into the esoteric, really lean into I am the enlightenment. And I see you on your journey, and I know you're very physical. The work that you do is very physical, it's very tangible. This to me says let go of the money, let go of the impact. So you know what the impact is, but then you let it go and you call yourself higher and you really lean into. And then I lean into my spiritual millionaire. I lean into my spiritual understanding of why I'm really here. And I think that you are very pure of heart. I believe that that is very true for you, just knowing you for as long as I've known you, that you have this purity of heart. And so getting attached to numbers doesn't feel right for you. It's all about like calling yourself to that highest understanding of why you're really here.
Legacy keeps popping through,
Ooh, I like that.
right? So what is
Yeah.
the
What
legacy
is your legacy?
in your message, in the impact that you're going to make when you show up for community? What's the legacy that you wish to leave?
Mhm,
And then create it reversing it, right? Like
mhm. Reverse
dreaming,
engineer, right?
dreaming, taking all your knowledge, all your wisdom, and then allowing that intuition to really come in, feel into how you want to show up. And then the conversations, when you get going, girl, like gold that comes out of your mouth. So I
Oh,
don't think that's the problem. It's just dreaming about or letting yourself really land into the physicality of creating the space. When you build it, they will come. Like it just kind of
mhm,
keep feeling like these kind of things. And then you
mhm,
open your mouth and you be you. And then that amplifies 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 keeps coming in. And so we let go of
mhm,
the attachment of how the mind thinks it has to be and trust what the
mhm,
heart and the spirit want to express.
mhm,
We can get so stuck in the mind. We know all the things, but if we're not teaching it, speaking it, expressing it, we can feel very stifled.
mhm,
So, yeah,
mhm.
the
So
land
good.
Morgan, Morgan, Morgan. Beautiful. Ashley DePaulis is here. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone who's arriving.
Hello.
If you're arriving new, please post a question about your divine expression and questions that you have around clearing out your divine expression. And yes, good. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lynn, not
Lynn,
sure
joining.
exact question, but my audiobook is on my mind. So that's a beautiful way to express, right? Perhaps
Yes.
what impact it may have. Can I take
Love this
action on
question,
that one?
Lynn.
What a beautiful that is, like literally
It
your
is your
coded,
expression, and there's
your
so much
coded
impact
expression.
coming. Yeah.
Reaching
Sorry, I was
millions.
talking over you.
Hmm. Go ahead and take the action on that one if
That
you'll.
that happens sometimes when you do a lives, you talk over each other. It's like, and then we're just like, blah, 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 blah.
No, it doesn't sound like that here, so that's always weird.
Okay, so the card that like just there's a card that sort of just fell out of my deck for you as I was shuffling, and I knew we were coming to Lynn next. I knew, Michelle, that was going to happen. So not sure the exact question, but my audiobook is on my mind. Okay, so we're in clubs right now. We're obviously thinking about divine expression, right? So we've got another club in the house, which I really love, and perhaps what impact it may have. So, something I love about the 5 of Clubs is that the 5 of Clubs happens to be one of the wealthiest or the wealthiest contract in the deck. So, your action to me feels like, what impact do I want the audiobook to have? Right. So, when you walk into every session where you're reading this book that you have created, you wrote this book and you are reading your text, you're reading the text. I want you to think of the intention. What impact do I want this to have for people? Right? So the 5 is change, transition. You are going to be changing the minds of people. You're going to be sharing your story in a way that helps people with things that are difficult, right? There's many pieces of transition that I see in this card, but the impact for you that I feel when I look at this card, the first thing that came through for me is that this is going to that your story is going to help you to make money. Your story is going to affect your wealth. So when you walk into this experience, every single time you go in and you read, think about, what impact am I here to make? I'm here to share my story. I'm here to express myself. I'm here to show people that it is safe for them, even when I have something that was really hard for me to express, that it is safe for us to express our stories, and that there will be someone on the other side who is affected. There is someone who is on the other side of this story who will who will read your story or hear your story, hear your words, and their life will change.
Mm, I love that. So we have the 2 black cards, right? So we've got this inner reflection, and the 4 keeps coming in, like, he's building these foundations for what's next. But when I think of this, and especially with what you were saying and feeling into that, it's like, who's that person you're speaking to? So whenever
Yeah.
you get in front of that microphone, it's just that coffee chat, right? It's like you're here, you're sharing the story, you're visualizing who you want to reach as that ideal reader, and you are just having a conversation. And so really letting that purposeful expression impact those, because you're sharing your heart, your soul, your voice, and all things that are you. And it is your higher purpose to get this work, this voice, this message out. But being purposeful in who you're connecting to, because it's the foundation of how you're impacting, right? You get to be received, and you don't have to hold on to how that is, but you get to show up and pour your love into the expression of that and create the foundation of your message that creates that legacy over and over and over again. So that monetary impact is a given, because you're focused on the impact that that message from writing that book and sharing that book has had in your life that's going to help others. I feel like that's so beautiful. Like, I'm so excited to see not only how it turns out, but what you learn about you in the process, right?
Mhm.
Writing, it's one thing, publishing, it's another thing, coming back and expressing it and
Mhm.
rereading it and sharing the stories and coming back to the emotion of it is the connector. It is where people will be like, oh my God, me too. And then they get your voice and your story and your impact with that. Just so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And I feel like for Lynn as well, like doing this audio book feels really cleansing and clearing for you.
Yeah. Like a
And
start, right? Like a foundation of where she's going next.
yeah, definitely. Like this is a way for you to clear this experience and to really move through it by utilizing your voice. And I think that allowing anything that wants to come up for you is right. Allowing it to come up, allowing it to clear, it will take you to your next level.
Yeah.
This feels really important to you.
Very foundational. I totally agree. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, good.
Very
All right, who's next? Michelle, who you're our I feel like you're our picker.
official scroller. I just let's see. I believe we have
Yeah,
Stephanie next.
great.
Um, top of mind, cards to help insight on my integration and grace for me in my journey. So, as divine expression, as you're integrating these next levels of growth or these next levels of expression, let me see if you had anything else down here. Yeah, like it feels like you're asking what's next, but Jen, let's look at this as like divine expression, for
Mhm.
her as the integration.
Is this de Stephanie de la Roche?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because we have Stephanie Hunter on as well, so I've got some.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is. Um, that integration feels really important. And it feels like
Mhm.
really what I keep hearing is, so then how do you want to do it? Where do you want to go next? What are you going to choose as that next step? We can pull cards around that, but I'm curious if there's a deeper expression that wants to come through on that for you, more
Mhm.
specificity.
You're a 5 and an 8, so you're constantly working. Why are you constantly working? Because you're a 5 and an 8. That's just a curiosity for me.
She's a 5 of hearts,
A 5 of hearts, yeah.
ruling 8.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Not what's next. Hmm.
Change, pivots, always learning.
Okay. And so we're posing the question today for the pools in our most divine expression. What feels like is in the way, or that can move out of the way for you to show up with that integrated learning?
I drew the 9 of clubs, and today is the 9 of clubs, and it's a 5 energy day today. So it's all for you. So I would say your action is to just to release, um, surrender, right? So the 9, it just wants you to allow yourself to let go. And so, as an action step, to release any fear around communication, to release any toxicity that you notice coming through in your expression, noticing some of the things that I said earlier. I'm going to come back to my little list. Okay.
Yeah.
So, noticing any defending and justifying, noticing any deflecting, noticing blaming, shaming, guilt, or trying to be perfect, noticing any of those things that are showing up for you in your communication, right? And just paying attention to your language feels really important. And whenever I see the 9 of any black 9, the 9 of clubs, 9 of spades, I'm always going to ask myself, what am I consuming, and where do I need to release? Where do I need to let go? Right. So what are you taking in that is telling you that you always have to be, I'm going to come back to this, constantly working. What if you could find more peace and ease? Being a 5 of hearts and an 8 doesn't mean that you have to be constantly working. It just means that you're a 5 of hearts and an 8. I would love for you to release some of that languaging and allow yourself to be in the strength of your 8, in the purity of the 8, in the emergence of something new showing up for you. That's what I would like you to land into. You can be peaceful and easeful regardless of what your contract energy is. So bring in the peace, bring in the ease, Miss Steph.
The mastery of the 8, the personal power, right? And I think that's really important. And I love that the 9 of clubs showed up to remind us, right?
Mhm.
Because we have a sun card or we have a ruling number, we're not limited to
Mhm.
that number. It's not because we are that this happens to us. It expresses and helps us understand and put together some of the puzzle pieces, but you're not limited. And so it's really important to be careful to not fall prey of, well, that's just me, so therefore I don't need to do the thing, or this is just how it goes for me. And then you create more struggle. I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm just saying it can be very common. We
Uh-huh.
get so attached to the labels behind what we are. But from this standpoint, and from using this book of life, Astro Egyptian reflection tool, it's about opening ourselves up to all the numbers, to all the suits, to expressing ourselves fully beyond limitation, beyond belief. And like we were saying in the beginning, we're never done uncovering new beliefs, new layers, new things. And so just to think you don't have to even work, or there's nothing wrong with you, or like there are so many structural thoughts that doesn't pertain to me, I've handled that. it's just another way for us to not allow ourselves into more receiving, more expressing. So I wanted to bring that up because the Nine of Clubs reveals truth and how and what we think. So what's the truth that's showing up for you right now? Could be great. It could be other aspects that want to change. They're all here for you. So really landing into that, um, what new idea births from it? So to me, ending the cycle and letting this new one unfold without trying to control it, right? Being the expression of it and letting yourself land into the synchronicities of the next steps, what's unfolding each step of the way. It's a series of synchronicities. It's not the thing. Where does it take you now? So coming back to what I was saying earlier, now that you know all this, now that you've landed into this integration, what do you choose?
Mhm.
Not what do you want, not even what do you commit to, what do you choose to become in this new expression? And I
Mhm.
feel like this is really this for you, this rebirth of
And
like,
I also just I mean, there was a death and a rebirth right there, right? We had the 9 and the ace, like,
nine's
it's
11
really
step. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but the inner work, right? The inner
right.
choices, just being aware. What's the truth of how you've been thinking? And is it time to decide again and again?
Yeah, I love that, and she said, "My mind story." Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
rewrite that bad boy. You're the
beautiful.
editor. You're the
Rewrite
editor.
that shit, baby. Yeah,
You're the director. I love that. Yeah.
beautiful.
And it and you're not broken and there's nothing wrong. It's
No.
inviting you into more. It's
Yeah,
inviting you into, and now what? The past happened. Now what? You know this, and now what? This is you, and now what? Right? So it is kind of next step, but you choose it. The world doesn't choose it for you. That feels free.
beautiful.
Okay, cool. Ooh, someone
I was
said,
Go ahead.
go ahead. I think you
Oh,
probably
I
said,
was feeling Stephanie Hunter, she asked about her superpower.
yes, please. And then a Facebook user said, wow, never done with new beliefs,
It's
right? The mind
Peggy,
gets so freaking sexy about how we don't have anything else to go do, but
right?
we're forever going to be learning, growing, and evolving. And the minute we stop thinking that, we create suffering. I don't know how else to say it. Like, we just make it hard. So, okay, Stephanie Hunter.
What does my superpower look like right now, and how do I know? It's coming. It's like knocking on your door at the moment is how I feel, Stephanie. Stephanie Hunter, let us know that you're still here.
She's here. She
Oh,
said, so
she is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, great. I love that, Rosalie. You're finding a bajillion four-leaf clovers on your walk. That's awesome.
I'm never. Hmm. Interesting. I love
All
that.
right, Stephanie Hunter, your superpower of it. What's your superpower? What's your expressive superpower?
My gosh, have you had a reading? That would be amazing. And
Right?
that would tell you, but we'll still
They
look.
will tell you. It'll tell you in your chart, right? Like it will let you know exactly all the things that you guys want to know.
And then some. I feel like a
I
shuffle.
drew the 4 of spades for you as your action or as your maybe as your superpower. So to me, this comes through as understanding that you are the riverbed, that you create the foundation, that you are the superpower. You You are right here, right now. You are the superpower. Your purpose is within your being. And when you allow yourself to look at the river from however you want to, the riverbed, right? So it's the 4 is the foundation, it's the riverbed, it's the understanding that you are the vessel. So you are the bed. You are the riverbed. So I want you to recognize that your superpower is you, is being more you. How can you continue to be more you? Your superpower is standing in your power and recognizing that you are the purpose.
Mm. I keep thinking of union. Remember, we had this conversation about fours, union, unity, the
Mhm,
union of your wisdom and your higher order. It is you. Like
mhm,
your purpose is to
mhm.
be more of you. And so wherever you're not expressing that or you feel stifled from standing up to say what you want to say, what you stand for, what you stand against, or how you want to express, or the joy and the play and the love in your life where it's felt like it's just all work. Like,
Yeah.
those are the places to begin. And when you do, you can out of the
Creative
practical and
expression.
into more of the creation, right? So out of the stress and into what you love more. The threes are so powerful in bringing in, welcoming in community or the amplification or planting the seeds of what you're wanting to create next. And I always think of this as like out of the practical mind and into some of the impractical. Like, is it aerial yoga you want to go take, or like what is the things to help you express that part of you that maybe you've been denying, and letting yourself land into all of the creativity that wants to come. If you're feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed about it, that's the lower end of the three that invites you to look at that and say, well, are you playing, are you creating, are you connecting? And it welcomes you into that, like Jen was saying, that being more of you and now expressing it and creating it, stepping up into it, and it starts inward and then expresses outward, which is so good. Anything else for you on that one?
No, I
Three.
think you hit it right on the head. It was really
Yeah,
good.
nice. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, do you want to scroll or you want
Beautiful.
me to keep scrolling?
I scrolled while you were talking a little bit and I see an Ashley. And I see, oh wait, hold on. Stephanie says, can't make this up, ladies. I'm so on a precipice. Love that so much. Very clarifying. Surgery next month first.
Ah,
Quietly taking it all in. Yes, allow yourself to integrate and let yourself heal and get prepared for that surgical procedure.
mm. Hi, Lynn. Welcome.
Welcome,
If
welcome.
we can get to you. I have about 4 minutes left. So.
All right. Well, let's do a final group reading then. Yeah. Or do you want to just like choose one of these fine humans?
I just came across Beth Bogren,
Yep.
and she said, oh, a
Got it.
question, because she had come in later.
I see it.
I'm ready to step into a whole new journey and would love any guidance on that. I have stepped away from coaching and I'm figuring out what's next. Okay, that's good for you and
That's
for the
huge.
whole. And the reason that we even showed up, that you may not have heard in the beginning, is we have a retreat around this very same thing. So if that's something that can help you in a container of helping clear out what's keeping you from decision, we want to invite you to go back and maybe listen or connect with us about coming to a space where you can exactly learn that, those next steps. We're here about that divine expression. Wherever you are in life right now, whatever life is thrown at you and you're moving into, we're very big in our work, both of us, about helping people through transition,
Oh, yes.
relationship, loss, life, career, you name it. And I'm not 20 anymore, so we've lived some life. You're younger, you're gorgeous, but like we transition. We go from 45 beyond into these transits of life, and we face ourselves right in that moment. So let's pull some cards around that. But we're going to keep you in mind, Beth, for that. And thank you so much for sharing. I love that your mind's already figuring out what's next, and sometimes your heart and your body get to help you with that. And so that's where we come in and help you get very clear. Um, Ashley's like, I was so close. I know it's we're going to be back, so don't worry.
Mhm.
I just have a chiropractor at 9 o'clock, so I can't stay on. Otherwise, we'd be here forever.
That's so soon.
It's so soon. It's okay. It's like 5 minutes.
Okay. I love this question though.
Yeah, right. Like we all have these moments, and let's go. You go. You go. I go.
Another four. I got a four of hearts.
Those fours.
So, I mean, the fours were really, I feel like the fours were very thematic today. We both drew a lot of fours. So just reminding ourselves that our divine expression comes from a strong foundation. It comes from a strong foundation in our body. I mean, like our root chakra, like, do I feel safe in the body? Do I feel grounded? Do I feel grounded on this planet? Do I understand my purpose? Do I feel safe in whatever my purpose is? And remembering, coming back to this conversation of my purpose is to be more of me. My purpose is to express myself. And I feel like this is going to be relevant for a lot of you. Okay. It's relevant for me. It's relevant for all of us. Our purpose is to be us. We think our purpose is a job. It's not true. It's not real. Our purpose is to express our inner being. Our purpose is to allow our soul to speak very loudly. Our purpose is to be me, to be you, right? To be ourselves, to recognize that you can do whatever work you desire in the world as long as you're being you, and you will feel purposeful. I spoke a lot of this into our session yesterday in my live in the co-op, which was that you can live your purpose by walking into the grocery store and smiling at a clerk and like making their day and rippling that out into the world. What if our purpose wasn't just a job?
Yeah.
And so that foundation feels really strong, and loving yourself. Those are the
It,
last things I'll say.
it really does. And I think about these things in conversation, and I love this. I feel like we could talk for hours. It's in all those little places. It's in what we decide or what we're not deciding. It's what we believe is for us or possible for us. It's in all these layers that sometimes we don't want to look at.
Yeah.
And when we can be in the truth of where we want to go next by where we are, right? Where we are right now, not where we've been, but maybe even using part of that journey to know that everything that's happened and everything you've been through has brought you to this moment right now. And from this point on, you get to choose to be more of you. And we misinterpret through others' opinions, through conditioning, that purpose is going to fall out of the sky and we're going to just connect with it one day.
Right.
Right? I did that. I one of the reasons I really love cards and readings is because I can see myself in ways that I couldn't see myself
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I'll never stop wanting that because now I know it's a tool for me to like get out of my head and into what else could be possible. That's what this is for. But
Mhm.
when we can come back and really understand ourselves from a deeper level and allow ourselves to be okay with all the places that didn't feel good or the places that did, of what we thought we know or what we didn't know, or like we are talking about where we deflect or where we're trying to be perfect, even
Mhm.
when we've worked on these things, we get a deeper understanding and who else we can become. Because if you're here, you have this pull to want to know what else can be happening in life. More pulls you with a desire to, where can I meet myself in that? What if I did this? What if I had this dream?
Mhm.
Right? There's got to be more than just this mundane experience. And
Mhm.
so when we do that, we really land into our personal power. So we take the 8, the example.
You did that so good.
God, thank you. I just pulled it. I was just ripping, channeling.
You're like, and then we lend into our personal power.
My God, my God. Right. Okay. Anyway, this is just how we roll,
These
right?
are
So
numerology
the
jokes. It's
energy is in
fine.
this container. And to me, this is infinite potential and possibility.
Yes.
This is how I read this card. This
So
is your
good.
purpose. Your purpose is to master being you. And guess what? You're never done mastering it. You can always be more love. You can always express more love. You can always be clearer in your communication. You can always be more decisive in your decisions. And we always can find where we're giving our power away to everyone and everything else, or just some past example that happened that we're holding on too tightly, instead of learning that we are the foundation, Miss Four of Spades over there, and that the foundation begins within, and it begins with our decision to commit and be willing to be the expression of what we want to create. And that
Mhm.
expression is ever expansive. And the more we get out of our heads and into our heart, the more that we align with just beyond this beautiful human experience. We are a soul in a human body, and we are often taught to think separately of it. So, who are we when we combine the heart, the mind, and the spirit? And that's what we do best. And that is what we're offering you in this retreat. It's another experience of another way to look at yourself, something else to learn about you. And guess what? A room full of women going, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Mhm.
And then let's have some fun and let's open conversation and let's pull some cards and let's experience ourselves through food and care and nurturing, and a way that you can step out of your own responsibilities and self to get clear in the magical vortex of Mount Shasta. You guys, I can't explain enough about how amazing the energy is there. But to be in a 5-day experience, to welcome yourself into experiencing exactly this. What is next for you? Let's help you decide. You have the answers anyway. We don't.
Mhm.
Anything else you want to add? Hi, Chantel.
So good. There will be a replay. Lynn says, did you mention there's a replay, please? Yes, there will be a replay as soon as we turn this broadcast off. It will move into a Facebook replay.
Yep,
So
it'll
it'll be
be
available wherever you're seeing it right now.
yep, YouTube, your group, our personal feeds. You can just
Mhm.
find us anywhere. And if you have any questions or you want your own personal reading, please don't hesitate to reach out because we have that
Mhm.
available as well.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about the retreat, I did post the link there. But if you're loving this, imagine 5 days.
I know, it's so fun.
It's fun. We just thank you guys so much for being here and sharing this time.
Absolutely.
We'll be back. We've been coming live
Yeah,
weekly. We're going to
yeah,
create a workshop specifically to spend more time with you. And so keep your eyes out, follow us, stay in touch.
yeah. And if there's something that you're really interested in workshopping, feel free to reach out or post it here.
Yeah. Anything we've
Yeah,
talked about today that you want to dive in
yeah,
a little deeper into, pop it in the comments. We'll keep coming back and chatting with you here. But
absolutely.
yeah, I love it. An
Okay.
hour on the nose. 0809.
Perfection.
Okay. I got to go. I
All
got
right. Love you all. Thank you for joining us today. And we will see you again very soon.
Bye.
Bye.